The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, staff, management, or advertisers.
Coming to you on stations coast to coast, it's the Makin It radio show with your hosts, self-made millionaires Tommy Runfola and Todd Williams. Tommy Runfola, founder and president of one of America's top technology, consumer products, and media companies. Author, investor, and National Entrepreneur of the Year nominee. Tommy has worked with 5 U.S. presidents and vice presidents. Todd Williams, founder and CEO of Inc. Magazine's 2013 fastest growing food and beverage companies in America. A former NBC TV personality and Harvard Business alumnus. Makin It is the source for success stories and in-the-trenches information that outlines a roadmap to the American dream. And now, here's Tommy and Todd.
Greetings, America. This is Tommy and Todd making it coast to coast, and we have a great show for you today. But first, let me introduce my accomplished co-host, Mr. Todd Williams. Say hello, Todd.
Accomplished?
You're very accomplished. You are. Man, you went to Harvard, you graduated.
I'm doing
That's
great.
accomplished
Doing
right
great.
there. Yeah. And also, of course, as always, the lady with 1,000 pairs of shoes, Miss
Yes.
Brittany Dorsey.
Hello.
What's going on today, Brittany?
Well, we have another great show. We are going to be discussing some pretty hefty priced businesses. First up on this reality show segment that we're going to be talking about.
Okay, I like that.
Then you two are saving America, this time through some major department store retailers. Let's see if we can bring that back.
Okay.
And then lastly, we're going to be talking about employees and moolah.
Oh,
Yes.
Todd's 2 favorite subjects.
Well, 50% of it, you know.
Well,
All right, so first up,
Making It Show Buzz.
all right, the show we're discussing today is Billion Dollar Buyer. Now, I had not seen this show before, as I'm sure many of our listeners out there probably haven't as well. So, Tommy, why don't you give us the recap on what the show's about?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it either, but it's about a gentleman who buys products, if you will, and deals with vendors for multi-million-dollar businesses. The name of his company is Landry's Inc., and his clients are people like Morton's Steakhouse and the Golden Nugget Hotels and casinos and these large businesses. And he has an annual buying budget of about $2 billion a year. So he goes to all of these vendors and small businesses, and he buys everything from cookies to products of all kind that are used in these particular businesses, food, furniture, whatever it is. And what he does, what the show does, is it shows the behind the scenes of these small businesses and trying to get their big break, making a sale like this. And I've seen these kind of programs before, like with Walmart,
Right.
Where it can make or break a small business.
Right.
And you really get into, the hopes and dreams and aspirations of these small companies and what they think they need to do to get this big break. And it really becomes heartbreaking at a point because in order to make some of these deals, these companies literally don't have the money to make the product, or
Right.
they can't find a profit center
Right.
that's sufficient to make this pay off. And sometimes they're working on borrowed money from grandparents. And one of the pilot shows a couple, I think they were a brother and sister, had borrowed money from their parents' retirement fund, and then they ended up not getting the deal. So it's an interesting show.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the contrast and comparison here between the mentality of someone who is, this billion-dollar buyer. He's
Right.
buying on a large scale. He's essentially big business. And then he's trying to support these local companies. He's trying to endow them with, quote unquote, the Oprah effect. He's trying to give them their
Right.
big break. He's
Yes.
trying to not only be a large purchase and a really large account for them, but really put them on the map and get them out there and help them get their first big break, like you said. And so it's interesting, like with all the reality shows that we talk about, the struggles of this small business owner and the way that a small business owner is used to running their small business, and then transitioning to the needs and demands of a large business, and just, all the emotional, but then also the business lessons and struggles that they encounter in that transition.
Yeah. Todd, we've talked about this a lot in the past, even in our own businesses, and how important that first big break is, and someone seeing, that you can actually do the job for them. What do you think about the show?
I think it's I think it appeals to 90% of small businesses out there,
right?
Because 90% of small businesses are actually B2B,
right?
And so this show is it's a little different than the other entrepreneur shows where they're actually, Shark Tank is helping fund people that are going direct to consumer, selling their products. And some of these other shows, they're trying to get their idea off the ground. But this is actually going after businesses that are looking for a big B2B, deal, account. And that's 90% of businesses that are out there, landing a big account. It's good at showing how it's not easy being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Even the guy that's the head of the show, he struggled and had to, barely made it and had to push through.
Right.
To become successful.
Yeah.
One guy on the show was going out of business in 6 months if he doesn't get any sales. Another lady said, she's waited 13 years just to get a deal like this. And so, and I like his saying, scale up or give up.
Yes.
And he talks about, needing the vision of the CEO and the founder, and having good products, and stop making your business a hobby, and take it serious. He even told one entrepreneur, maybe you should stay a small business.
Yes.
I mean, it's really showing how you have to force decisions in business, especially as an entrepreneur, and you really have to scale up or give up. You got to go one way or the other.
Todd, you've done it in several businesses. How important is it when you're running a small business, you're just starting out, understanding how to grow that business?
It's very important. You have to really keep things organized.
Yes.
I mean, because it's real easy for things to get disorderly because you have 1,000 things going on,
right? And
you lose your sense of you lose your compass, you lose your sense of direction, and you lose your focus, and then before you know it, you're not growing.
Yes,
you're just maintaining status quo, just trying to keep your head above water, and growth is out of your thoughts.
And growth is in marketing and sales, you believe?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it's
where
pretty
it is.
much all there.
Yes.
For the most part.
You have to have a good product, but you have to understand marketing and sales.
You're listening to Making It with Tommy and Todd, Coast to Coast. We'll be right back with more.